Hey, what's up? Back in the garage. It's been a while. It's also been warm out here, so I've been kind of avoiding being in the garage. But I did get smart. I've had this thing sitting for a couple of years and never used it out here. I don't know why, but I got a little AC unit. So hopefully that'll take the edge off. I won't have to sweat my ass off when I'm out here. And what we're going to get started on today is the Softail. I got a bunch of stuff to do on it. Nothing crazy, but after that last 4-day trip and then another ride, my front tire is getting pretty low, so pretty worn out. So I need to get that replaced. So I got to pull that front wheel off. While I have that off, I'm going to pull everything else off. And I am going to redo the fork seals and oil since I have it apart and I have no idea if they've ever been done. And then I've got some new rear shocks to put in there. The ones that are in there now are, factory. They came with the bike, and all of these parts, some of these cups are missing and these bushings are completely blown out. So I figured I actually came across a killer deal on these, like $200 cheaper than they're supposed to be. So I figured I might as well get them done. So yeah, I'm going to get the bike on the lift and start getting stuff apart. All right, front wheel's off. It's still very hot in here. I am sweating like crazy, but I got to give that AC some time to get it done. So let's take a look at our wheel here. Front wheel's off. It probably looks better on camera than it actually is, but I can see lots of little cracks all over this tire, and we're definitely rapidly approaching no more tread. So better safe than sorry. I'll get a tire on there. All right, now on to disassembling the front beam. From what I understand, I am going to remove this bolt here, and then Oh, if you can see it, these guys here are what hold the forks in place. So I don't have to remove all of this stuff. If I can get to that guy and get that guy out, then the fork should slide right out. So I'm going to step out of the garage for a little bit, let this AC unit do its job, and then I'll get back out here and get the forks pulled out. Right on. All right. I went ahead and pulled the forks all the way off, but I am sweating quite a bit, so I am going to let that AC do some more work before I get out here and disassemble the front forks, which are over here. So what's left to do there is pull them apart, disassemble them. I need to clean them. I have a bunch of degreaser, but I don't have brake cleaner, and I'd rather use brake cleaner because I feel like it doesn't leave a residue as much. But yeah, pull them all apart, clean them up, reassemble them, put them back on, go drop that front tire off. Hopefully that shows up soon, and my bike's not sitting here without a front tire for too long. And I'm pretty sure I need to put the front tire back on to be able to do the rear shocks, because I don't think I can do it with it on the lift. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's actually, I'm going to have to figure that out. Maybe I can get to them while it's on the lift. We'll find out. At any rate, we'll be back out here when the garage is cool. All right, we got some brake cleaner. We have everything we need to rebuild the front forks and put new fluid in them. So I'm going to get started on cleaning up and get these things all freshened up and put back on the bike. Hey, what's up? So I got stuff all torn apart. And then I got to the point where I need to pull this part off. And I just don't really have a good way to hold it and put pressure on there to break that loose. I don't have to do it. There's just one little part that I won't be able to replace on the valve body, which is this guy. But while I've got it all apart, I really would like to get it cleaned up, everything clean and put back together. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So here's the plan I came up with. Harbor Freight has these little guys, which I know I will use for more than just this. What I'm going to attempt to do, I bought one of their sets of, let me find it, pipe wrenches that have a big rubber piece on it. Because initially I thought, no, maybe I can use that. But then I decided I would cut one of them up, put double-sided tape on the back, and then what I'll do is attach these to the inside of each of these vices so that I can put the fork tube in there and do whatever work needs to be done. Hopefully. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. All right, let me show you the setup, and we will see if it works. Got some nice thick rubber pads in here that I sacrificed one of the cheap Harbor Freight pipe wrenches for. And I'm going to give it a shot. If I see it start to twist, I can use the bigger pipe wrench to back it up. But I'm not putting crazy pressure on anything, and it seems pretty secure. So let's see if it works. All right, so to get that top piece off, I had to get a little goofy with it. Put it back in the bike, tightened it down at the clamp, broke it loose. Now we can move on. All right, I got one side done. Now I'm going to do the other side. We'll get a nice clean video of that one, because the first one, you know, had some issues. But yeah, it's all done. So now I'm going to get this one pulled apart, cleaned up, reassembled, and then get them back on the bike and wait for my tire to be done. Now they're saying today's Saturday. They're saying probably Monday. So yeah, we'll probably try and do the shocks before we get the front wheel back. So let's get to it. All right, forks are back together. All I really need to do, aside from put them in, is tighten this part. For this year, I couldn't find a torque spec. It's a tighten securely, which I'll probably have to put it back in the bike and tighten it that way. I'll give my little sad little bench vise deal a try again to tighten them, and then I'll probably end up just putting them on the bike and doing it that way. So let's get to work. All right, front forks are back together. Looking good. Everything went together pretty easy. Okay, no front tire yet. I was hoping to have it today. Hopefully I get it tomorrow. But between now and then, I still have one more little project to do. Actually, two. I want to make another float bowl adjustment on the bike. But I'm going to get started on getting